What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Making Podcasts Great Again. I am your tech stuff guy, Jay Nog, and we are here, of course, with the President of the United States of Mar-A-Lago of America, Mr. Donald J. Trump. Mr. President, how you doing today?
It's not so much what I'm doing. It's about our country. We it's a sad day out there, that I can tell you. We have total disaster. The border is being overrun. A Sleepy Joe China administration is selling us out. And I don't know if the country can take any more of this, to be honest.
Well,
But
let's just,
I'm doing well.
yes.
Other than that, I'm doing very strongly.
Okay. Let's just jump right in. We have lots of topics for today, Mr. President. I was reading in the papers today,
We should call the
and
show Hot Topics.
I was reading the papers today, press releases, and the American people are saying that they are not happy with what they think is going to be their Republican and Democratic choices, which would be Sleepy Joe and most likely you. And people are asking for a third choice for president. What are your thoughts on this?
We going on the podcast or off the podcast record?
We can go off the record and then on the record if that works for you.
We never start a show so early, but I think we need to go off the record. So
Okay,
let's go off the podcast record.
we're off.
The American people are mostly I'd say stupid. On both sides. It's sort of about honestly, it's a bipartisan problem. Very stupid, very aggressive, very bored also, and they got AD, the whole country is sort of low IQ and has ADD. So the truth is, I did a great job as president. Sleepy Joe's done a horrible job. It's two choices, good or bad. And people say, I'd like mediocre. I'd like amazing. Well, you're not getting, if you don't believe in me, you're not getting more amazing than me. So I think it just proves that we have a bipartisan stupidity problem. And honestly, if you don't like me, you're stupid and you should vote for Sleepy Joe. That's the truth. But we want a third option. We just want somebody. Yeah, they want to do like weird science. You ever see that weird science? I would have given
Mhm.
them bigger tits, to be honest. No, we're off the record. Yeah, I mean, you're making a woman, and you make like an 8 with like a nice swimmer's body. What that? Wait, you're literally making a woman from scratch out of a computer, and the best you can do is sort of an 8. And she ended up banging Steven Seagal, who we like because he supports us, but he's a total whack job.
And they're teenagers too. So you
You'd
would
think they
think
would
you
have
would.
been like, we want triple Z. Is that a bra size there? Triple Z. Let's go triple Z. You would have had a woman walking out there who would have weighed 140 pounds, 139 of which would be breast. And instead it was like, you know what we're into? We're into lean models. What a stupid movie. It should be called Stupid Science. Now we'll go on the record. We've discussed the important things off the record.
So on the record, Mr. President, what are your thoughts on a
Sure.
third choice for president? Who do you think this third
Don't say
choice
on
could
the
possibly
record.
be?
Excuse me, don't say on the record. You have to edit this out. They'll think that we were off the record. The whole point is that they don't know we were. So just take that out as well. Thank you.
Gotcha.
I think the American people are so disgusted with the Sleepy Joe administration. American people are very smart, and all they want is good things. And between Sleepy Joe totally ruining the Democrats, the brand. I mean, the Democrats are done after Sleepy Joe, but the fake news is working so hard to make me seem like I wasn't a great president. In fact, they want to make me seem like I was a bad president. Which, if you look at the data and the facts and the information, and also the stats, you see that objectively, I was the greatest president we've ever had. So it has to be ridiculous for people to believe that. But if you give the people a Sleepy Joe and then you tell them that the great president was a horrible, terrible traitor, they're going to go, okay, we need a third option. between the fake news lying to us and Sleepy Joe destroying us, we need a third option. So I don't, no, I don't blame the American people for thinking they need a third option, but they just don't realize that they don't need a third. It's this is sort of what I said to uh, Ivanka on her prom night when I escorted her to a prom and her date showed up, and I said, you don't need to have the three-way. It could just be me and you, darling. So, and that's what America needs to think. And I said that in meaning like a fatherly way, like a father-daughter dance, not in any sort of nasty way.
Of course. Excuse me, Mr. President. You brought up immigration with Sleepy Joe, and I read that somewhere, I think it was in Texas, that they were using a hotel for veterans, and a bunch of migrants came in and they were kicking the vets out of the hotel to house migrants. How do you think Sleepy Joe is dealing with this immigration problem, and what would you do when you become president again?
Well, I would put all the migrants into all the hotels and then detonate the hotels. Problem solved.
That's that easy?
Easy peasy, migrant expleasy.
All right. How do you think Sleepy Joe is doing right now
Oh,
with
I mean,
immigration?
how is he doing? I don't know if he's even doing anything, but what he is doing is being a horrible leader. We had a strong thing, it's called Title 42, and it basically said because of COVID, you can't come in the country. And now that COVID's over, I would have put in Title 43, which says, guess what? You still can't come in. And instead, Sleepy Joe is like, Jack, we got to get rid of 42. But, now if you read papers and watch certain news channels, they'll have you believing it's actually not as bad as we thought. But if you watch strong news like OAN is actually just running scenes from the movie The Accused and calling it and saying that's what's happening at the border. That's the kind of news we need. That's the kind of strong, honest news we need. They're just showing scenes from Requiem for a Dream and The Accused and Shawshank Redemption, certain scenes from Shawshank Redemption. And it just says underneath, this is what Sleepy Joe is doing to us at the border. And the people are responding, they're not going to put up with this. They're not going to put up with this for very long. But other so-called news papers and news channels are choosing to show actual footage and data. And then they say, oh, it's not as bad. Well, look at look at The Accused and tell me that that's not bad. It's bad. It's actually
I
very
just
bad.
don't I just don't understand, because the homeless problem on the borders, like in Texas, um, homeless problems in New York City, homeless problems in major cities, Los Angeles, I think Florida too, is getting out of control. Lots of violence. Why would you want more people in this country when we can't even give homes to Americans?
And some of those Americans we don't even want to give homes to.
Exactly.
I would argue that some of those people we shouldn't give homes to either.
So then why are we letting migrants stay in places over especially American soldiers, and just keep letting more and more people in when Americans don't know where to go? Doesn't make sense.
Well, I would argue, you see what happened between that soldier and the homeless person in New York? That was very sad.
Yes.
What if we organize like an official MMA in Texas and it's migrant versus soldier and we sanction it? In other words, we
Migrant
sanction it.
martial arts, migrant martial arts, MMA.
MMA, there it is. And it's veterans versus migrants. And we sanction it and we have referees to make sure it doesn't get out of hand. But if you lose, you have to either leave the country or we do strong capital punishment.
Not a bad idea. It would be you put the fights streaming online or something, so you can make
A
money on the
Truth
fights.
Social TV, Truth, which we're, as we discussed last week, we've acquired the Spice Channel and we're in the process of unsquiggling the lines. So we would air it very powerfully on Truth Social TV.
I didn't. That would be the first programming, right?
And then we would run ads for Netfox.
I think it's a brilliant idea. And then UFC is one of the most popular sports in our country. They do pay-per-views almost every single week and sell millions and millions of dollars. Imagine seeing Americans taking out immigrants.
UFC undercard fighting Chicanos.
I think it works. I think it works. It's something to look into for sure.
I'll talk to my friend Dana White Power and see if he wants to get involved. I mean, we've got the talent, and isn't that the American? Think about this. Imagine you're a migrant, okay, and you
Mhm.
show up here, and all of a sudden you get a troop, you get a U.S. troop who's trained. But if you beat the crap out of that troop, welcome to the country. Because imagine if it's a good test, I think it's both ways. If you can beat one of our troops, who by the way are allowed to use weapons in the octagon, but if you can still survive and defeat them, welcome to America. We want you. You're tough enough, and we didn't want that troop to begin with. Imagine a troop armed losing to a migrant. You're not keeping our country safe. I think you're probably keeping our country, we call it unsafe. So
Yes.
I think it's a win-win. It's called a meritocracy. That's when you have an ocracy of merit.
Now, what do you think the reactions of the migrants going to be when they enter the country and they're given a mouthpiece, 6-ounce gloves, um, and shorts that say migrant across the waistband, and they get their hands taped up, and then Big John McCarthy's like, "Let's go."
But I think it'll be interesting because a lot of them will probably be out of their weight division, unfortunately. Um, but what if we do this? What if we sanction family on troop matches? If you have a big, strong troop, 240 pounds, and then the family only weighs 300 pounds between the four members, you get them all in there.
So you think children can fight now also?
Oh, absolutely. Now I think you got sort of a fair matchup.
It's more exciting too. 4-on-1, a handicap match. People love all these crazy different types of matches in the WWE with the ladder match and the steel
Exactly.
cage match. That's perfect marketing.
And when one of our troops, one of our great patriotic troops, goes for the 5-year-old first and like throws him into a river, you'll see the parents get fired up like like Eye of the Tiger, Eye of the Churro, and they'll go harder at the troop. And I think you're looking at probably we might put UFC out of business. I think Dana White Power is going to want to get in on this because we'll probably put the UFC out of business with this kind of strength.
I think it's a genius marketing idea.
What if but if a mariachi band shows up, we'll let them use the instruments. If our troop has an
Uh,
AR-15 and a grenade launcher, I think the least we can do is let the mariachi band use the maracas and the guitar.
so they get a guitar versus an AR-15 in the ring in the
Well,
octagon.
if they have a guitar, we're not just handing
Okay,
out guitars. We have to
I
keep a
gotcha.
strong conservative economics. Keep spending down. But if you show up with a guitar, da 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 da,
Let's say they sneak into the octagon like brass knuckles or something. Are they allowed to use them, or they'll be taken from them if they use them, or rocks or any kind of weapons that they
Other
brought along
than
with them.
guns and firearms, the migrants can use anything they can bring in, as long as they understand that the troops have grenade launchers, AR-15s, acid, and small nuclear weapons.
That works. I think this is a fair matchup. I'm waiting for tickets to go on sale and stream it on True Social. It's exciting stuff right there.
My great friend Jerry Jones, owner of the Cowboys, has said we could host some of the matches in the Cowboy Stadium.
Oh wow, that's ticket sales too. That's a lot of ticket sales right there. It's one
And
of the biggest teams in the NFL.
all proceeds go to the Migrant Cremation Fund.
Jesus. Mr. President, we have a bunch more stories here I want to cover, especially
Well,
Mother's
after a
Day.
story like that, excuse me, after a story like
Yeah.
that, you got to go to a sponsor. They're going to be so
know.
proud to be associated with our strong patriotic show.
Well, Mr. President, make a fast break to FanDuel during the NBA playoffs. Unfortunately, the New York Knicks got knocked out because right now, new customers can get a no sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's $1,000 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. It's awesome. I did this. I put on Knicks and I lost. I still got my money back, but there's great promotions every day. It's the safest and most secure betting app, and you get paid instantly here. And FanDuel is where I go to make all my bets. I made a lot of future bets for the New York Jets already before you've got Aaron Rodgers. And then you can bet in games with this. Futures.
Avengers Endgame was a good movie, by the way.
How about that new one with the talking fox? What's that movie?
It's a raccoon. Show some respect,
Yeah.
and it's one of the best movies of the year, if we're being honest.
Guardians
By
of
the
the
way, new
Galaxy.
Rotten Orange is coming soon. It is, but I want to talk because I'm sure you bet like a small potatoes bet on FanDuel. But you do what you can.
Yeah.
We respect you.
Mm-hmm.
Tech stuff budget isn't the same as billionaire presidential budget.
Definitely.
But what I did was listen. I'm going to explain to the no sweat bet to these people. I bet very strongly because I don't like LeBron James. He's very woke. I bet the full 1,000. I made my first deposit. I bet the full 1,000 on Golden State to win. They call that money line. And it wasn't a money line because they got destroyed by fake King James. I don't even like his Bible. And so they lost. I lost the money. And guess what FanDuel did? Guess what they did? Boom, $1,000 right back in the account. So you know what I did? I'm feeling the luck of the Irish. I put that 1,000 now that I had it back on the Celtics to beat the 69ers from Philadelphia. And guess what? The 69ers, they lost to the Celtics. So I used the maximum no sweat bet. They kept their word, which we respect. Very strong word keeping. And then I won. And I not only did I not sweat, I didn't sweat at all. And then I won. So in my case, it was a no sweat plus very huge victory. But that would be too long a title for the strong people at FanDuel. But I wanted to give the people more of a strong inspirational story instead of the sort of tech stuff. I lost $5, but they gave me $5. But nobody wants to hear that.
That's right. The president went with no sweat first bet, and you should too. There's no better place to bet on all the playoff action than America's #1 sports book. Visit FanDuel.com/Boston and get a no sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's FanDuel.com/Boston. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. 21 and over in all select states. First online real money wager, only $10 deposit required. Refund issued as a non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit FanDuel.com/RG. COIAMINJOHPA. ILTN and VA states. 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text next step to 53342 in Arizona, 1-888-789-7777, or visit ccbpg.org/chat in Connecticut, 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana, 1-800-522-4700, or visit ksgamblinghelp.com in Kansas, 1-887-770-STOP in Louisiana, Gambling Help Helpline ma.org, or call 1-800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts. Visit www.mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland, 1-877-8-HOPE-NY, or text HOPE-NY 467-369 in New York, 1-800-522-4700 in Wyoming, or visit www.1800gambler.net in West Virginia. Now back to the show. Mr. President, Mother's Day was
What
this
year
past
is it, by the way?
It's 2023.
Okay, because I thought I just saw a year or two of my life flash before my eyes.
Now, on Mother's Day, this past Sunday, you went on a whole true social rant and about Mother's Day and people who are against you, but you failed to mention the mother of your child, Barron, and Melania was not mentioned in this post on Mother's Day when you mentioned Mother's Day. Why?
Well, she's not my mother.
Okay, good point. But she is the mother of one of your children.
Well, she is a mother of a child, and we've spoken about him. We've let him do Patreon content. Okay, we've had him. So I've been nothing but nice to Melanoma,'s son person. So, but I didn't have to. I didn't. I didn't think a lot. I had a mother, and she passed away when the great Fred Trump pushed her down the stairs and buried her at a golf course. Oh wait, no, that was my wife. He I had a mother, and she was a great mother, very strong, very loving. Not that hot, if we're being honest. I never found my mother to be particularly hot, which is always disappointing. And I sort of want, and when you show up places, you sort of want your friends to go, "Oh, I'd sure like to fuck the shit out of your mom." Oh, well, thank you. We're very proud of her. Appreciate that, bro. But she wasn't really that type of mom. So, we're sort of glad she's not here, if we're being honest. Sort of an embarrassment to have her around. But I say that with love. I say that with great love for all mothers. But I think not enough mothers thank fathers. Okay, because without fathers, you're just a lady. Without a father, you're just a lady. And there's no ladies' day. Hallmark doesn't make happy lady card. That's called mothers. And what we do is so important, arguably more important than any part of the process. So it'd be nice instead if maybe mothers would go out of their way on Mother's Day and say, "Thank you, sir, for making me a mom, because without you, I'd just be a woman and I'd barely have any rights or respect in this country. But because I'm a mother, you've made me more important." So I think that's what we should be talking about. Not that I mentioned some random woman. Did you mention some random chick that had a happy? No, but what about thanking me? What about thanking me? You never brought that up.
Okay. Would you like to wish Melania a happy Mother's Day right now?
Well, it's not Mother's Day.
Okay. So we'll wait till next year. Okay.
I will see.
Mr. President, how do you
Maybe if they come out with a happy single moms from Europe holiday, I can wish her that next year.
That would be nice of you. Mr. President, how do you feel that Rick Perry is talking about possibly running for president in 2024? He's talked about this before and then always never followed through. Do you think he's going to follow through, and do you think he would be competition?
It'd be very competition for stupidest person in the primary. He got about 1% in 2016, and he famously was giving an answer for the three departments that he would get rid of. He's trying to show I'm a big, strong conservative who I would cut these three departments. He could only name two. He forgot the third. This is not a serious person. This is a very dumb person. And no, we're not expecting him to do anything except bring some stupidity to the stage.
Now, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, and you finally appeared on CNN last week. I wanted to hear how you thought your appearance went and how was your experience over there dealing with CNN?
It was great. I actually had a peephole inserted into Caitlin Collins' dressing room, so I got to see what she was working with, and she is a fit young woman, that I can tell you. But we had a great time. She looked good. And by the way, I managed not to sexual. If I'm such an out of control sexual assaulter, I was on TV with an attractive woman for over an hour, and I didn't even touch her.
Mazel
I
tov.
didn't even touch. I didn't even touch her. And nobody says, "Well, congratulations, sir. It must be false. You're not a sexual assaulter." No, no, they just say I was mean and oh, it was very nasty. No, it was called gentleman. It was called being a gentleman. And you could tell if you watched that town hall, you could tell I actually felt bad. It was clear that Caitlin Collins wanted to sleep with me. So I almost said, should I grab her by the pussy? Because it's like now I'm almost feeling like I'm making her feel ugly, and she's not. She's actually attractive. And I thought I was actually, it's one of those things the radical left would have you believe if you compliment a woman, you're being sexist. Now, some women like compliments, and I could tell she was getting so sad that her president wasn't grabbing her. And I would have grabbed her with great love and great strength. But no, we're being extra careful for the radical left. How about that? But I thought it went extremely well. I showed that I've still got the talent and the juice, and we're gonna take out Sleepy Joe so quickly, and we have great support and great love. That's what our movement is really about. It's about love of sexual assault. Did you hear when I made fun of E.T. Carroll and they cheered so loudly? Oh, it was so beautiful. Just we don't with the pandemic and everybody social distance. We lost the joy in social interaction, and we almost forgot how fun it is to get together with a bunch of strong white men in their middle ages and laugh at a woman being sexually assaulted as we did in the town hall. We all had a good laugh at E.T. Carroll, and it was nice. It was nice to get together and share in joy and the humor at a woman getting sexually assaulted.
You think being on a liberal media outlet that you won over some new voters?
Other than Caitlin Collins giving me fuck eyes the whole night, I think I think maybe a few. I think maybe a few people just realize I've been treated very unfairly. But no, we don't. That was not to win over liberal voters. That was to show independent voters and conservative voters that I will fight anybody anywhere. I wish Caitlin Collins had, come out in a bikini with a scorecard, like a ring, like a ring. What do they call that?
A ring
Round.
girl? Ring girl.
A ring. If she had come out like a ring girl and they brought out 3 or 4 migrants and I beat the shit out of them, I think then they could hand me the election right then and there.
I agree. Mr. President, we have 3 more stories left, but before I get to these stories, I want to talk about another one of our awesome sponsors. Are you wasting money on subscriptions? 80% of people have subscriptions they forgot about. Maybe for you, it's an unused Amazon Prime account or a Hulu account that never gets streamed. There's this great app I use that helps me track all of my expenses, and because of it, I no longer waste money on subscriptions I don't even use. You might have heard of it. It's called Rocket Money, formerly known as Truebill. Do you know how much your subscriptions really cost? Most Americans think they spend around $80 a month on subscriptions, but you're actually spending closer to $200 plus. That's right, more than $200 a month on subscriptions. You could be wasting hundreds of dollars each month on. There's this app I love using, takes care of it all for me. It's called Rocket Money, formerly known as Truebill. The app shows you all your subscriptions in one place and then cancels for you whatever you don't still want. Rocket Money can even find subscriptions you don't even know you were paying for. You may even find out you've been double charged for a subscription. They take care of it all for you. To cancel subscription, all you have to do is press cancel, and Rocket Money takes care of the rest. There's no email, there's no phone call to make, there's no form to fill out on the website. All you do is press cancel, and Rocket Money takes care of the headache for you. It's awesome. I joined up before the holidays this past year and saved hundreds of dollars on subscriptions I didn't even know I was subscribed to. Get rid of useless subscriptions with Rocket Money now. Go to rocketmoney.com/MPGA. Seriously, it can save you hundreds per year. That's rocketmoney.com/MPGA. Cancel your unnecessary subscriptions right now at rocketmoney.com/MPGA. Also, if you haven't already, sign up for the Patreon, patreon.com/MPGA. We had a couple of new patrons come in today and a couple yesterday. That's right, patreon.com/MPGA. You get bonus episodes like last week. We just did a live ep for all the Patreon Patriots. There are Fred Trump traditions. There's movie reviews. Raging Brett Kavanaugh had a show that you can listen to.
Can I
Tons
share
of bonus
something?
guests. Yes.
Well, obviously there's the Baron. We were just referring to Barton content.
Mm-hmm.
We call it Bartent. And then Ron DeSantis even snuck in and did a nasty, disgusting thing in an episode, which hasn't been deleted yet, despite my strong wishes. And this week you're going to get on Wednesday. I've already completed strong reviews of 2 documentaries, which are like movies, but with real people. Not a lot of people know that. But one is about Michael J. Fox, and the other is about Yogurt Berra, who was a catcher. And and you should have seen Mike Pence when you heard he was there. There was a movie about a catcher. He came and he destroyed the whole theater with his strong erection. And I was like, not that kind of catcher, Mike, not that kind of catcher. But so you'll get new movie reviews this week. And I think, why don't we discuss this right now? We'll do the little housekeeping, even though I'm not a Latino woman. What do you think about Thursday, the 25th of May for a live Perfect 10?
How about the 31st? That's let's do can we do the 31st, Mr. President, the last day of the month? Would that work?
Since you asked very nicely, we can do that. We can do that.
So let's do that. Let's do 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, not 9:30 anymore. We'll do 8:30 p.m. Eastern on May 31st for the Perfect 10 Patreon Patriots. 8:30
You can hear about
p.m.
everybody's Memorial Day weekends.
That's right. So the 31st, 8:30 p.m. And of course, go to patreon.com/MPGA to sign up for the Patreon. Now back to the show. Mr. President, the Durham report was just released for the Trump Russia probe. And really nothing substantial came out. People are saying that this gentleman, I think he had 7 months or 9 months. He has a 300-page report that really shows no new information. They're saying that this guy really didn't do such a deep dive. People are a little upset about this. What are your thoughts on the Durham report and the results?
It's a disgrace. I hired him to look in very strongly into what was going on, and he's probably been bought off. Because everybody knows the corruption. The corruption is everywhere except with me. So the fact that he's not doing anything it really tells you that we're dealing with the deep state can get to anybody other than me. The deep state can corrupt everybody. So I think we really need to be concerned right now about what the hell is going on. And I'm sending him a DM on Truth Social to go fuck himself. So
Okay.
that should tell him that I'm not playing around in any way whatsoever.
It doesn't
So,
sound like you sound very upset.
well, because it's a disgrace. We trusted him to do a good job, and now he's not doing a good job. He's actually doing a no job. He's blowing this job. In fact, I would even call it a blow job. He's blown it so badly.
Now, Mr. President, do you happen to watch the show Ted Lasso? I know you finished Netflix. Ted Lasso, I think, is on HBO. Have you seen it ever? It's about
It's on
a
Apple TV, tech
Apple
stuff.
TV.
We call you tech stuff. And next thing you're gonna say, I think it's on Peacock, sir. Calm down, Mike Pence. And it's very sad. It's Ted Lasso. There's only one person on this show that I even tolerate. I haven't watched it. I think I accidentally turned on one episode once. I've probably only seen 26 episodes, maybe by
Okay.
accident. Now they have a woman, tall blonde, very strong, very built, very curvy. She got a nice British accent and a nice set of everything on her. And her name, I think, is Hannah Waddingham.
She's the
And I
owner
don't
of
know
the
the
team.
she's the owner, and boy, oh boy, we should call her Wad in my hand because she is exciting to look at. Other than her, though, the show is a disgusting woke mess of stupidity and soccer.
Well, the person who plays Ted Lasso, Jason Sudeikis, he said that the character was
Oh, he's the
shaped.
guy. He should stick to the number game in the paper.
Well, he said that the
You know the
character,
number game. You remember the number people play the Sudeikis on the newspaper like
Sudoku,
it's a number game.
Sudoku.
However you pronounce it, but shouldn't, yeah, he's done very well with that. Why go to TV if you've already got people playing Sudeikis?
Well, he said that the character of Ted Lasso was shaped by you. Originally, it was a very belligerent person, and then he changed the whole personality of the character, and you influenced that. How do you feel about that?
It's very interesting because if you ever see the show, like I said, I've only caught 26 episodes by accident.
Mhm.
They lose. They're not a winning team. So somebody would say, "Oh, Mr. President, how insulting!" Right? He based it on you and said you were mean and belligerent, and now he's nice, and his team loses a lot. I rest my case. Maybe they think they go, "Oh, yes, radical left Hollywood. Jason Sudoku got me again." No, in fact, now your character is a loser. And that's why he's not sleeping with the owner. If I was there, if I was coaching that team, they'd win the championship. And I would have strong, peaceful relations with the owner very strongly.
The last piece of news I want to get into, Mr. President, voters are saying, and political pundits are saying that the only problem that you may have about getting reelected is that suburban women you have a problem with. They don't really like you. Um, what are you going to do about that? And is there any message you'd like to send out to all the suburban women out there to maybe show you in a different light?
I love suburban women. I love suburban women. And I want to let them know with me in charge, we will fight crime. We will improve your schools. We will make sure that certain people never move to your suburbs. We will we will not defund police. We will fund police and we will fund bake sales. And we will also be very strong for suburban values. We won't let them build affordable housing near your suburbs. We won't let them move migrants into your suburbs. We won't let any non-Division One athlete people of color move into your suburbs. We will have strong affairs if you want. I'm open to having affairs with any boy, because sometimes like when you watch, when you watch movies on Truth Social adult films, which is going to be transitioning into Netflix, as a whole genre of like bored suburban housewives, and I would volunteer to have strong relations with any of the suburban housewives who feel neglected, and I would offer to also have relations with ones who don't feel neglected and even don't want to accept my offer. I would still be willing to go into their house against their will and have strong suburban presidential relations.
Well, if I was a suburban housewife, I'd be very happy from what you just said.
Well, like we say, once you go presidential, you don't want migrants in your residential.
It's a nice T-shirt. I like that T-shirt. Now, Mr. President, appreciate you spending another week with us. Looking forward to the live episode. Looking forward to the movie reviews on Wednesday. To all listeners out there, we appreciate all the support, and it was really nice seeing a bunch of Patreon patriots last week at the last minute live episode. If you want some FanDuel action, fanduel.com/Boston, and to join Rocket Money, rocketmoney.com/MPGA. Join the Patreon, patreon.com/MPGA. And don't forget, we announced tonight, on Wednesday, May 31st, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time is going to be the live episode for the Perfect 10 Patreon Patriots. For me, you can just follow me on social media at JNog, and I'll have dates for the summer, probably next week, just putting all the schedule together. And that's really it. Goodieshow.com. Mr. President, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Hey, everybody, it's me. It's JL. We got a show in Montclair, New Jersey, June 3rd. I'm on a show in Montclair, New Jersey. So if anybody in my neck of the woods listens to this show, see you in Montclair on Saturday, June 3rd. Beyond that, just right now, check out my other podcast, Righteous PK Podcast. Check out my Patreon, a lot of bonus stuff there. All my stuff is on jlcomedy.com. There should be a new blog going up this week as well. So lots of stuff to always check in there. But yeah, thanks for listening. Give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts if you haven't, and God help us all.